live.
Turtle power.
Pizza for you.
Pizza for you, pizza for me.
Pizza? Oh, pizza for you?
Pizza for me.
Pizza for me too. Oh my gosh.
Don't worry, we're not going to eat the whole podcast.
Yeah, we are. It's just go. It's ASMR.
Oh, I hate that.
It is delicious. So,
Pizza.
in turtle fashion, this is what we're going to call
Pizza
it.
is brought to you by Hotbox, but this podcast is brought to you by Boger Cabinetry. More on them later. I will say, though, in honor of the turtles, Boger Cabinet, well, not, now we'll get into that later. But now, we're talking toidles.
Hi, Haley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This
I
is
told
like,
you.
hands down, like, the crust could be crispier, like, but overall, it's a good pizza.
It's also very fresh. It was made like 10 minutes ago. So,
Pretty yummy, scrumptious. I like it. And check out these cool 90s cups.
you get it with every pizza.
Yeah.
And that's plastic, by the by. It's not a paper cup, so it's reusable.
Yeah. And it doesn't melt in your hand.
And no bullshit paper straws.
This is the best podcast ever.
I'll just start bringing food.
I literally ate dinner already, and I was like, dude, I forgot about pizza.
Oh, I purposefully didn't eat dinner, so. And I was only going to get a small, but then they were like, we got this deal that was actually cheaper than getting a small and 2 drinks, so.
How much? Or, I mean,
Oh,
yeah, what was the
I
deal?
don't even remember. But anyway, this would be turtle approved. But this time we were talking Ninja Turtles, specifically Mutant Mayhem, the new movie that has come out. We're not going to delve too much into the other turtle franchises. Well, I guess
We'll
it's
bring
all
up
franchise.
references
Yeah,
just
it's
to
gonna
be
be
safe.
for a reference point, yeah. But I don't know. Overall, what would you have given the Mutant Mayhem?
Oh, dude, I don't know if you noticed, but I had an edible before we went, and it made the movie so fun. Like, and I'm not even saying that the movie itself, overall, it was so great. It was a breath of fresh air. Like,
Well, especially since what we got before was the Michael Bay Abomination.
yeah, that adaptation was horrible, but this last one that they just did, they nailed it. It was simple. It was nothing like too crazy. Like no crazy concepts, no crazy villains. It was just bad guys and good guys.
The villain was one of the
And
best
even-
parts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ice Cube.
Superfly.
Oh, Superfly. So good. Like
Ice Cube has this ability to make the most mundane line hilarious. And he's done it in everything he's done. But like I think my favorite one in the movie was like, oh, just a horse? I didn't need that horse. Why is that funny?
I don't know, but that sounds like my kid. Like literally, like something will happen. Like say it's the switch or something like that. Say they didn't wash their hands, they're eating something sticky, and I'm like, you're gonna damage that electronic, and they're like, oh well, I mean if it goes, it goes. Just buy another. And I'm just like, I give him the Ice Cube look. I can't even do it. I'm too white.
He does have that look. What's that movie where he does it like straight for?
Dude.
I think it's Right Along when he does it. He's just staring at somebody. He's just like, is this serious right now?
Whose cheese is this?
That's Hotbox.
Whose cheese is this?
Nacho cheese.
I didn't even know you got nacho cheese. Oh, okay. All right. This pizza was good before. Let's see how it is now.
It's about to be amazing. But while you're enjoying that,
Oh my gosh.
it is yo cheese.
That is like so much cheese too.
Kind of the theme of movies for the past year or so.
Oh.
Calendar year. For the past 2 years or so, my biggest problem with a lot of movies that have come out aren't the movies themselves. It's the fact that
Get closer. I turned it down.
Gotcha. It's the fact that they're called a certain thing. In this case, the title of this movie, if the title of this movie had been Teenage Mutant Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, wouldn't have had a problem. I had two.
Oh, I see where you're going with
I
that.
had
Okay.
2 issues with this movie, and they were very minor. I want to just preface. I liked the movie. I thought it was a very interesting take. They took some risks that paid off. They really emphasized the teenage part, which was great. It was fun seeing the younger, less experienced turtles. I like the fact that we saw their first fight in this movie, and it was chaotic, but then they got their groove, which was fun. However,
Where did they learn their ninjutsu from?
and this is a common theme, and I probably dislike it to a certain extent because I'm older and I don't vibe with this kind of comedy. There were a couple moments in this movie where they went with either traditions in the franchise or just traditions in filmmaking in general, and they subverted them just for a cheap joke. The best example of this was the fact that they're not actually ninja. They learned all their martial arts skills from YouTube, from what I could discern, or at least like VHS tapes, DVDs, and they became experts, which is just not true. But again, that's so minor in the context of the movie. It wasn't that big of a deal. I just was kind of like, but they're not ninja though. And plus, ninjutsu encompasses things other than combat. So like, how did they learn to sneak around so effectively?
Well, I was gonna say if they're not ninjas though, then what are they?
Toidles. They're toidles.
I like turtles.
And then the other time they did a joke, which, by the way, spoiler alert, because if you haven't seen this movie yet,
Oh yeah. I should probably fix the title. Spoiler alert. But I mean, I'm sorry. If you see
If you're
something that
watch-
says review and you're watching it, that's on you.
prepare for spoiler. And plus, we didn't really give away much. Well, we gave away one thing, but it doesn't give away the plot.
No.
They made some changes to the I guess you would call it the Ninja Turtles backstory. That didn't really bother me. I.e., Superfly being, as far as I know, Superfly's an original character created for this movie. He's kind of a subversion of the Baxter Stockman character, because Baxter Stockman becomes the Fly.
Yeah. Because that's what I remembered, and then I saw this and I was like, oh, so they're separating those two. It's like Hulk and Banner, you know.
Right, but they're still related because at the beginning of the movie we learned that Baxter Stockman created all the mutants.
Right. That was a good reference. Anyway. But yeah.
But I liked it. Superfly was fun. The cast is a little bloated, not gonna lie.
It's okay.
Well, here's the only problem. Okay, I have 3 problems with this movie, but again, they're all minor. But one of these problems is creating an issue for the franchise itself. They've already been greenlit for a sequel.
Oh, there's no way it wouldn't get a sequel. It was too good.
Well, but what are they gonna do?
Actually have them know. It did it again. It disconnected and reconnected.
Oh, it never did stop the stream before, though.
Oh, I watched it, and it did. Like, it was like a time skip, dude. It was weird. It was like, But anyway, so just make sure we're still going. Yeah, we're good.
Apparently.
Oh, but look, now they're hopping back in. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Right back to you on the matter. No. Well, I think that the opening, like, just how it was and everything, man, it was just, it felt good. It was just a feel-good movie. Like, even the bad guys really weren't even that bad. They were just pretty dope, in my opinion.
Which says a lot, though, because I actually prefer... I'm not a purist in the sense that if it's not as dark as the comic, I don't like it, but I do prefer the Turtles to be a mixture of that darker elements and the more fun elements, because still my favorite to this day, including this one, my favorite version of the Turtles is the 1990 live-action movie, because I think it blended both of those elements perfectly. It took enough from the cartoon show to make it recognizable for the kids, but it kind of drew, at the assistance of Eastman and Laird, it drew a lot of inspiration from the original comic in terms of how dark it was, the relationship between Splinter and Shredder, how the Foot Clan operated. The fact that Shredder didn't even face the Turtles, had never met them until the end of the movie. A lot of people forget that. So when the Turtles see Shredder for the first, they have no idea who he is.
Yeah, except Shredder, though, he didn't even, like, blink twice when he started fighting them. He's just like, oh, human-sized turtles? I don't give a shit.
Well, Shredder knew the Turtles existed, but he'd never seen them in person.
I know, but still, wouldn't that be like still like kind of creepy to like know that like human-sized turtles who fight?
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell is going on here? But you know, Shredder, he's not affected by anything.
It's probably the best representation of the Shredder in any Ninja Turtles medium.
Question for you.
Answer for you.
Out of, I know, I'll just go ahead and throw the third movie in there too. So the 1990, 92, and then 95 movie?
95 or 96.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite? You going with the first one?
The first one.
Second one, dude. Second one with Secret of the Ooze was so good.
It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. Here's the problem, though. I always...
Cast switch?
No, not really. My biggest issue is you'll notice it's a little goofier, which isn't really a problem in and of itself. The big problem is, though, you'll notice, with the exception of Donatello, none of the turtles fight with their weapons in number 2.
Why was that?
Because they wanted to tone down the violence.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Well, we were kids, but if you watch it with a discerning eye as an adult, which, I mean, let's be real, they were correct because, they were kind of correct, because then they got complaints about the turtles not even fighting with their weapons. It's like, that's why you shouldn't ever listen to activist groups that want you to change your stuff, because they're never going to be happy. All you're going to do is piss off the fans, and the fans are the ones that are paying to see it, so when in doubt, go with the fans.
Who's doing that?
Oh, it did the...
Why are we losing connection? Wow.
That's weird. It did like the... Well, I had it on, so it's live. It just like did a weird time skip thing.
No, I'm just saying with what I said. Wow, it's almost like no lag.
Huh.
Normally it's just a little laggy.
Normally it is a little laggy.
What would be...
Oh, so what I was saying though.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
The problem that they created for themselves is where do we go from here? Now, when they tease the introduction of the Shredder, they tease the introduction of the Shredder, but here's what I really mean by that. Not so much with the villain. One of the main goals of the Ninja Turtles in any of their iterations is they want to be accepted by society. Well, guess what? At the end of this movie, they're accepted by society. More so than they've ever been, because there have been ongoing stories of them where they eventually get more friends and more allies. They're enrolled in high school by the end of this movie. They're popular kids.
They literally turned into Peter Parker.
So where are you going to go in that aspect? And here's another thing. Why are they still living in the sewer?
Well, I think I can
They're
answer
still
that.
living
I
in
think
the sewer.
I think the sequel of it's like that scene in Bruce Almighty when they're like, the power's out. No, it's not. In other news. Jeez. Anyway, so in TMNT Mutants of Mayhem, is that correct? Yeah. God, man, I lost my train of thought. That stupid freaking... The internet keeps popping off and on.
You were talking about you think something was going to happen in the sequel.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. So, the sequel, obviously, the ending of this movie was like... Obviously, if you have watched our videos, you're going to know we skip around a lot. Just get used to it or click off. Anyway, so at the end of the movie, it was like all happy-go-lucky. They're in high school, blah, blah, blah. The second one, I think, is going to get somewhat darker, and something's going to happen to where they're going to have to just go back to the sewers. They're not going to be in high school anymore. It's going to be a little darker.
Well, but here's my problem with
Maybe.
that. It's going to be very contrived. It's going to be something that happens because the plot needs it to happen. It's not going to happen organically in the story because they wrapped it up so neatly at the end of the first one, which was a cool moment in a standalone sort of way. It's bad for the franchise, good for the movie, because this is not so much a criticism; it's an observation. They threaded that needle very well. If this was the only movie, great, no problem, because you got a resolution by the end. The problem is this is a franchise because they've already established that.
You're 100% correct. They literally made this movie into a standalone. Like they unwittingly made this movie into a standalone, thinking that they could essentially, add sequels. But like you said,
Well,
where are they going to go from
And
here?
the problem is they will, because cheap writing is common now. So they'll find some way, and they'll make it into a joke. I promise you. Because here's what they'll do: at the end of that movie, April gets on the live news feed at Channel 6 and talks about how Superfly's the only one who's trying to hurt us. All these other mutants are good. And the people were like, cool, we're down with it. Which is probably more accurate to the time, because I can't think of many people nowadays that would come across like a man turtle and not be at least like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'd be like, you want to fight? Channel my inner Goku. I just want to test my strength.
Oh, he looks super strong! But, like I said, they've gotten themselves in a conundrum. So they're going to have to contrive something that won't really make any sense, and they'll turn it into a joke. They'll comment on how quickly, it'll be a commentary on how quickly people can flip on you, like on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And the turtles will start getting disliked, and they'll have to move back to the sewers, even though everybody knows that they already lived in the sewers. So anyone who really wants to find the turtles will just wander around the New York sewer system, and eventually
They're going to find them. Or they're going to find a bunch of other mutants too. So.
Well, a bunch of other mutants live with the turtles now.
But that's another thing is how many mutants that dude created. Well, I'm sorry, the Fly, or did the Fly create them, or did the
Baxter Stockman created.
Okay, so yeah, Baxter created all these mutants, and so that's another problem too, because there's so many mutants running around. It's like back in the day, it was literally the Turtles and Bebop and Rocksteady. Is that correct? And then there's only other handful of other ones. What was the
From across the country too, though.
Yeah. So they were spread out. They weren't even like all in the same area.
Because, for example, now this varies by version, but many versions, I believe, have Leatherhead and the Four Frogs originating from the Louisiana Bayou.
Down on the bayou.
And Mondo, I can't remember where Mondo Gecko came from, and I'll be honest, the other ones, I don't know if they were original creations.
Or memorable.
For the movie. Well, I don't know if they were memorable creation. Not memorable. I don't know if they were intentionally created solely for this movie, or they might just be lesser known.
Wasn't there a shark one, or is that
a ray? The manta ray.
Stingray.
Something like that.
Yeah. The Ray.
The Ray.
Jeremy Ray. No, I'm just kidding.
So yeah, I don't know where they're gonna go with the second one. And honestly, this script does reek of Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Yeah, Evan Goldberg.
Oh yeah. You could definitely Donatello. I kind of got the vibes from Superbad. Evan.
Bit. Yeah.
You know, and honestly, Seth, not Seth Rogen, but Seth in Superbad. I feel like he was. I don't know. I'm not gonna say Michelangelo, but yeah, I could see that.
Oh,
Michelangelo really wasn't like a. Come to think of it, I didn't really get like the whole
Well, they definitely moved away from the California surfer dude, and went to a little bit more.
You're saying California is not popular anymore?
The surfer dude's not like it was in the '90s, man.
I know, right?
Okay, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't notice this, but it stuck out to me immediately, and it annoyed me the entire movie. Michelangelo has braces. How?
Yeah.
How does a mutant turtle have braces?
Donatello's a genius. I imagine he could probably whip that up and do it himself.
Really? He's an orthodontist? When does he have the time when he's not jerking off to anime? I mean, researching.
Nah. That dude can learn very well. You gotta think, the ooze. What did they call the ooze? They just called the ooze?
I think they did, or mutagen.
Mutagen.
That's
yeah.
the proper. And then Superman's like, ooze, I like that.
But the thing is, though, the ooze was actually to mutate people and things, but in the original, it was just a chemical, right? Yeah. So the mutation was just a added bonus. I can't read what she said. I don't think that they'll rush a second movie with this, and I'll tell you why.
Because of the writer's strike.
they won't do one for a while because of the writer's strike going. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
That's assuming, and
I think
I don't know this. That's assuming that Seth and Evan didn't already have a script done.
Oh yeah, because you could guarantee if those two, like, they're gonna have another one already written
Well,
and
for
ready.
the record, I don't think they did, because if they were sure they were going to be greenlit for a sequel, I think they would have written the ending a little bit differently, at least.
You know what? You're right.
So I get why they did it. They bookended it just to be safe, but I think it was a little bit too definitive of an ending. Because I mean, Turtle fandom does go through cycles, and we're due. Let's see. Let's think about this timeline. So it first exploded in the 80s.
Pizza.
It first exploded in the 80s with the cartoon show, and then it rode the wave until about the mid 90s. And then it kind of died down. So by the mid 90s, it had died down. It gets a bit of a resurrection in 2003 with a new series, and then it kind of dies down again. And then they tried. It's funny. It's usually a movie that ends up causing it to go down. Because 2007's TMNT was supposed to be a resurgence of the film franchise, and it failed. So then you don't really get it, and then in 2012 you get the Nickelodeon series after Nickelodeon bought the rights, and then you get the Michael Bay movies, which were big budget productions, and there were actually 2 of them.
And if we're gonna be honest, those 2 back to back were terrible.
Right.
The animation, like, on that cartoon, I don't know what the heck they were going for.
Which cartoon?
The one prior to Michael Bay movies.
Oh, the 2012 series?
Isn't that the one where they
The
had like the
CG
weird
one?
head shapes?
The CG one, you mean?
Was it CG?
2012 was.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up real quick.
Yeah. But then you have a movie kill the franchise, or put it on the back burner. Kill is not accurate. But then you have Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I tried to watch. I didn't care for it, but I get why people did like it. And now you've got this new film franchise, so it will remain to be seen. I think you're thinking of Rise, which came in 2018.
Okay, is that the? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That probably makes sense.
Which again, that's another example. I didn't like the series overall, but there were elements to it that I actually liked. I liked that each of the turtles was a different species of turtle, which made it really interesting. Like Donatello being a soft shell turtle, he has shells that he creates.
Yeah.
That's Rise
the
of
one.
TMNT.
Because
So that was a quirk that I actually liked
it looked like Teen Titans.
a little bit. But Teen Titans was good. So yeah, what else do we?
Everybody getting all in their feelings about April O'Neil switching races is stupid.
Okay, so let's.
But there's something we're both probably going to agree on, and I'm pretty sure you're already going to go with it. Like, I'm not trying to body shame anyone, but I'm just like, why? Go ahead. I in Allstate, you're in good hands.
So yes, I didn't particularly care for April O'Neil's design. However, it is worth. This is a. I don't know if I like this or don't like this. The turtles.
Oh yeah, and she was in high school. That was a big difference.
If you look at their anatomy, like anatomically, the turtles are the closest to real life proportions and body shape of any of the characters. All the human characters.
Oh yeah.
All the human characters are really not deformed, but they're heavily stylized. So, in the context of the movie, April looks like she's more round, but every human's distorted.
So are you saying that you're not thinking she's as big as it seemed?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't really come to that conclusion until I was watching the movie, and then I realized, well, wait a minute, the turtles are the most accurately proportioned characters in the movie, because all the humans are weird looking, which style of this film gets a 10 out of 10. It looked fantastic. And I didn't know if I was going to like it or not, but it worked.
The one-liners were good. Like, it was just a feel-good movie. Like, literally, I'm sitting there in the movies, and I'm just enjoying it, because it's not like any of the drag that. Nah, I don't mean drag. That's a bad word. Yeah, it felt good. It was a good movie in general. You know, I enjoyed it. It was nice to be able to get away from reality. That's why we go to the movies.
That's why that's why Nicole Kidman says we go to the movies
Yeah.
at the beginning of all of them.
AMC, guys.
Get rid of it. There's no point.
No, I don't even mean that. Just seriously, 30 minutes of previews. Come on. When we go to a movie and it says 6:30, we want to see the movie by 6:30. We don't want to wait till 7 because that's, we're old and we have jobs and stuff and we get up early and kids and blah, dicks. Don't choke on your pizza.
Just to clarify, are you calling AMC dicks, or are dicks something that you have to do? Yes.
I'll circle back to you on that one.
It's like a circle. But probably what I liked, probably, I don't work for AMC. Probably
Wrong.
He's an AMC shill.
I really am.
Oh yeah, I mean,
AMC A-list is worth it.
I'm not mad at AMC. Like everyone's always like, oh yeah, they charge so much for popcorn. So I was like, don't buy it.
Although, by the way, the AMC, I forget, Perry something or other.
Perry Crossing?
Yeah, you suck. No reclined seating. I'm not a peasant. So don't go there, because I did take, my nephew was supposed to be on the podcast with us to translate some of the Gen Z elements. He had to go back home. But I did take him to see the movie, and we were both very uncomfortable in the seats. Because not only are they not the reclining, they're just uncomfortable.
So they're not reclining. So like, what were they? Just
Like the old school, but really thin. Like
and how much they charge for those tickets there?
The same. Yeah.
That's lame. Ours has the shitty seats here in town, and their tickets are never more than $6.
See, that would have been a fair trade-off.
Yeah, it's like just because you're in a rich town and you ain't got reclining seats, you don't get to charge those premium prices.
No, you don't. But yeah, they leaned heavy on the teenage element, and I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. The bit where they're doing the bacon, egg, and cheese thing. I don't know why I found that so funny, but it was.
It was very funny. No, I'm just kidding.
It was funny.
It was funny.
And one of the things I liked, but simultaneously didn't like, the whole movie was Jackie Chan's performance as Splinter.
I
think I liked.
I had to ask this guy who it was at first because I was like, who is that? And he's just like, that's Jackie Chan. I was like, no. And then finally he said something else, and I was like, oh, I hear it now.
And here's the thing, it came off. I'm not gonna lie, it came off kind of racist. But it's not racist because that's what Jackie Chan sounds like.
Like, he literally sounded exactly like Jackie Chan. But then, like, at some points when he would talk...
He sounded like Jackie Chan doing a Jackie Chan impression.
Well, did you, like, notice that, like, sometimes his, like, accent turned off and he sounded like a... I'm sorry. Kind of sounded like a redneck.
Oh. I was like, he sounded like a mosquito? I think, so here's the thing.
Alright.
I can put my finger on it now. So, I just realized there was a time skip and there's no context to why I said that. Why I think the performance sounds a little racist. We all know Jackie Chan can speak English. We've seen him do it for years. Now, he has an accent, obviously, but in terms of how he speaks...
Uno mas.
I love that movie. He speaks... But sometimes in this movie, it sounds like somebody doing an Asian impression. A bad one. Like, I shouldn't say a bad one. But it sounds like somebody making a joke about how Asian people talk. Just not even his accent, but how he puts words together in some parts of the movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I also love the running bit about them being milked. And then it happening at the end. Oh
yeah,
my God, that was great.
It was like, do turtles even have nipples? That was a good joke.
Well, but then It's a milk machine. I told you.
You brought that back in so nicely. All right, so next
I
week
can
we're not
be
going to have
trained.
this problem. I've already got a fix for it, so I don't know what the heck's going on.
Don't know, but you know what also needs fixed? Your kitchen. And in honor of our friends, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Boger Cabinetry has green cabinets now. We need an air horn sound here, like.
I don't have anything for that.
Yeah.
So anyway, Boger Cabinetry is located in Fishers, Indiana, and we specialize. I'm not even gonna lie, it's my company, but we specialize. I mean, there's no point. We specialize in essentially getting you the highest quality cabinets that you can get at literal fraction of the
What's
price.
up, Steven?
We typically run 30 to 40% less than big box stores for comparable quality cabinets. We don't sell junk. Everything we sell is half-inch plywood construction, dovetail, all wood drawers. We don't sell the crap. And like I said, we're going to save you 30 to 40% at least compared to big box stores, usually 70 to 80% off a full-blown custom. We've got all the colors you could ever want, including the ability to get your custom colors done. So come see Boger Cabinetry. And if you mention this podcast in the store, it's funny because I can do whatever I want. 10% off your order.
Oh no, Steven, you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
This is a PG podcast. You're good, brother.
Yeah. Although PG-13, we get one F-bomb.
Frank, I don't need to cuss. I've been trying to work on that with my kids because
I am trying to get better about it because W. Can you explain something to me? I'm going to sound super old here.
probably.
So the W means win, right? Okay.
Like FTW for the win.
That's not what FTW means.
What does it mean?
Well, we're going to fuck the world.
Nope, for the win.
No, it means...
When people use it in comments for most part, you know, because they'd be like, oh, blah, 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 FTW, you know, so-and-so won a conversation or something like that.
Oh,
for the win.
I've totally misread that.
You thought it was fuck the world?
It is! That's what it meant in the 90s. The ECW and Taz's FTW title,
okay.
the FTW championship, to this day still means F the world.
Well, now it's for the win. For the win.
Well, we used up our one F-bombs.
What does he say?
I don't know, I can't read it, I'm old.
I know. I need to. Yeah, I'm just gonna blow that up real quick. Hello, world. I keep forgetting that we're old and we can't read. By the way, don't give the delivery guy such a hard time. It's not his fault he can't read.
I did have to have the word Riz explained to me, though.
He says W means that's like cool or like let's go.
Okay, so I have another question. You can probably answer this. I understand the context of a W meaning win, but what does common W mean?
Like common COMMON?
Common, as in it's common to happen often. I have to read sometimes. International pressure.
True international effort to pressure.
Silence of the lamb.
It puts the ballot in the box.
I'm not even hungry. It's such a pizza.
It is really good. It will contribute to my fatness.
I went to the gym today.
I went on. I took exam. Oh, so I don't know if this is good. What's a good deadlift for somebody my size? For a 1 rep.
400.
Oh, okay, no, it's not good.
Like exceptional or just like average, like deadlift.
225. Okay, well I did. So okay, I'm not trying to throw. I'm not talking exceptional. For
He says, I mean, yeah, 400.
So here's the thing. So my nephew, who's actually he wrestles, so he has to weight train. He's fairly strong, but he's only 15. And he's like, yeah, my PR on death. And he's skinny, though. You've met him. But he's deceptively strong for how he looks. But he's like, yeah, I want to see if I can do my old deadlift PR, which was 210. And I'm like, yeah, I think you can do it.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Well, he didn't. But, oh, no, I take that back. So he did 210. But he wanted to see if he could beat that, so he says, I want to try 220. So
Damn it.
we did it. He couldn't do it, and then I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, I wonder.
I wonder who might do.
So I did it. I could have done more. I don't know how much more I could have done, but like, 'cause I mean, it was heavy, but I didn't like almost kill myself.
Yeah.
You know. Although I figured out why I hate Smith machines more than I thought I hated them. So get this. I got up to, again, it's not a great bench, but I increased what I could lift on bench press over the years.
60.
I think you'd be surprised because the deadlift is a really super compound movement.
Give yourself a break, dude. Aren't you like 11?
I bet you could easily, I bet you could deadlift 100.
Oh, yeah.
For a 1 rep. I'm not asking you to do it 10 times. Now I'm just having fun with it.
Yes.
I bet you can, Steven. I bet you can. So, but anyway.
I'm gonna come.
I'm sorry, what?
So I've been benching. This is why I was telling you before we came. I switched gyms because Planet Fitness only has Smith machines. Here's the problem with the Smith machine when you're doing bench press: is you're training your pecs, but you aren't training your stabilizer muscles. So I cannot lift nearly as much as I can on a free bench. So I had to drastically reduce my weight so that I can train those stabilizer muscles so I don't look like an idiot when I'm lifting the bar up and I can't keep it straight. So that was frustrating.
I know how he sounds when he lifts.
Actually, I don't scream. I hate those people. I don't hate those people.
It like allows so much. He's gonna. It allows so much like just pressure to be released when you do like give a good.
I think that's because you farted when you do it. It does. It felt so good to get away from those stupid Smith machines. Crunch Fitness, by the way. If you're in the northern Indianapolis area, just leave your gym, go to Crunch. It's way better.
So did you leave Planet Fitness then?
Yep. Oh, and Crunch has heavy bags, so now I can do even more stuff.
Just sucks you only have one gym.
I know, it's a
I
shame.
only have one gym too, so I get it.
Yeah, but it's
My gym has a pool.
It's pretty much equal distance. Actually, it might be a little bit faster because I can get there from the interstate, so it might be a little bit faster. But it's about equal distance to the gym I was going to.
Okay.
It's just in the opposite direction. So.
For some reason, I thought your gym would be like the Planet Fitness near you was like near you. What?
Oh. I'm Mexican. Apparently, I can't get in this friend group at school, so that's cool.
What friend group, dude? You can get in any friend group you want. Color of your skin doesn't matter, bro. And if someone tells you likewise, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but just ignore them. They're stupid. I would say more, but I don't want to be responsible if you get into an altercation.
¿Y por qué hablas español? Tienes todas las mujeres. Todas las chicas, no mujeres. Es verdad.
Wrong.
Dije a mi sobrino, necesita.
He says, damn, boy.
Damn, boy.
You're not one of those ones that can't speak it, can you?
You no sabo?
Does that sound bad?
No sabe. Sorry.
I would be that kid. If my parents had another language, I'd be like, I'm not learning 2 languages.
It's like, we're in America, Mom and Dad.
No, not even that. I'm just lazy.
That's the thing, though, is when your parents grow up, when you grow up here and your parents speak a different language,
He says, no, I can't.
you can't Spanish? ¿Por qué no?
That's okay. That's okay. Like I just said, I would be that person.
Well, that does explain why you were where you were, which I will not disclose. Anyway, we were talking about the turtles at some point.
Oh yeah, I think we kind of diverged, but to be honest with you, like there's really not a whole lot we can say about this movie other than go watch it if it's still in theaters. Is it still in theaters?
Oh yeah, it's still in theaters.
Oh yeah, you just watched it Monday.
Although Blue Beetle's in theaters now, right?
Fudge, yeah, yep. I've heard bad things,
I have too.
and I'm like, man, why would you do that to Zolo? And Zolo, why would you allow them to do that?
Unfortunately, because of his age, even though he is exceptional, not taking anything away from him, he doesn't have as much influence as he arguably should have. And actually, when did I use the second one?
It might have been me. I don't think so.
Crap, no. Now we're rated R. Well, shit.
Well, fruit flies.
Yep.
It was me.
Oh, what's you?
Yeah.
It's you!
McMuffin.
Not turtle shit.
You watch your mouth, young man. Oh, shirt. Not turtle shirt.
Yes. I bought special for this podcast, but, wow, I completely lost my, hang on. Oh, so another announcement. The first episode isn't up yet, but should be out next week. It's supposed to be Monday, but because of my mistake, it might be a little bit late. I started another Actually, I didn't start this one. I was asked to be on this one, which was very flattering. And the only reason I can do it is because the only thing I'm doing is talking on it. Because I do a lot of back-end stuff with this one and the other podcast.
Yeah, that's no joke.
No, I did not notice that.
I've kind of lost a little respect for Mr. Beast. I still like him for the most part, but
I think they should call him Mr. Bitch.
yeah. I feel bad for him though, man. Rocking a hard spot. Like his friend shouldn't have done that to him.
Well, you know what? Honestly, when you're talking about something like that, the solution is actually, I say it's simple. It's simple in theory, but I get it. It's hard.
It's nothing easy about it.
It's hard to say this to you.
He was the guy who said, "Oh my God, I touch it," when he touched the rat or something.
That was when Splinter when Splinter took the baby turtles up into New York, and then the guy's like, "Oh, cool rat costume." Oh, I touched it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, man,
That is pretty cool.
in theory, all you can say to your friend should that happen is be like, if you were my friend, you would have never put me in that position.
Yeah, and it's like, look, I get you, but like you should have just quit and gone about your life, you know, because the thing is, if you're in the spotlight like that, man, that's yeah.
I don't know why I did that.
Word, dog. Deuces. He said, okay. He says he got to go. Later, Steven. Steven is short. Maybe one day you'll grow up, bro.
Is it past your bedtime?
Listen here, dude. We're going to knock this dude out.
You gonna cry?
I'm gonna cry.
But, I don't know. I really don't have much to add to the Turtles movie. Like, I don't feel like there was any crazy Easter eggs. There wasn't anything. It was just a straightforward movie. I mean, there might have been. There were a few kickbacks, weren't there? Retro stuff like that. You all right? He says, calm down, I'm getting there. Dude, listen, I was
Shut
like...
up, you were always tall.
No, dude, we were the same height. If not, I was shorter. Yeah.
No, you were never
I
shorter.
did not really start getting super tall until like 9th or 10th grade.
I was never taller than you.
It was around 10th grade is when I started getting tall and leaning out. Because I was a fat, short kid, and now I'm a fat, tall kid. I'm a late bloomer. Me too, man.
I still haven't grown.
I actually grew almost 3 inches from 19 to 21. Later, buddy.
See you. There were some Easter eggs though that I caught. There was one name drop of Eastman and Laird that was obvious, and then one that wasn't so obvious. So it was Eastman High. But if you noticed, because I didn't notice this until I watched it the second time, which is sad because it's a big sign. When April and the Turtles are talking on the rooftop for the first time, it's a hotel called the Laird.
The Lair.
Laird.
I know. I definitely think if there's another one, they're obviously going to introduce Shredder
Well, they already teased that
at the end.
Well,
Yeah.
but there was another tease that some more casual fans wouldn't notice. The lady villain, I forget what her first name was, but they called her something Utron.
Utron?
Utron. Or Utron. It may have been Utron. I can't remember. But that's the alien species of the Krang, or Krang, the singular Krang.
I forgot about them.
Yep.
The brain people?
Yep.
And that's the guy that he's got in his belly. What's his name?
Krang.
No, like that was his name inside the suit? Because that was technically a mech suit, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there are different versions, if I'm not mistaken. The Utron, or Utrons, I can't remember. I know in the 2012 series they took that idea, but they called them the Krang, like that was the species name.
They were aliens, huh?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's a well-known fact that in most iterations, the ooze is actually alien in origin.
Saying Michael Bay wasn't
No, Michael
wrong.
Bay was not right, because Michael Bay was going to make the Turtles an
From
alien
outer space.
species.
Yeah. Even though they were just mutants, that's why it's called Mutant
It's like,
Ninja
hey,
Turtle.
wouldn't have had a problem with it if the original idea was Teenage Alien Ninja Turtles, but that doesn't have the same ring to it, now does it?
To be honest with you, until we heard Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that shit don't have a ring to it either.
Actually,
It just got popular.
No, it really does.
Teenage
though.
Mutant Ninja. Well, actually, no.
If
You
it
know what?
didn't
I'm
have a
wrong.
ring to it, how did they make a theme song out of it?
I was starting to sing the theme song in my head, and everything I said, I was like, yeah, you're stupid. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, you know what's stupid is the Ninja Turtles anime, which we put a short
Oh, yeah.
on YouTube. I don't even remember how I found that. I think it was just a random YouTube find.
Javier, come.
Rafael?
Javier.
Rafael. It sounded more like a Mexican soap opera. Rafael. And actually, that would have been a Brazilian soap opera.
But why? Why did you leave me?
Because
I loved you.
my name's Jed.
My name's Jen.
That's a really deep guttural laugh.
That's that autism laugh. I think I'm probably on the spectrum. My mom says I'm on the spectrum. I don't know what that shit is, but get that out of your head.
My mom says I am a spectrum.
That's what we need. You know what, dude? All right, so next podcast is going to be very entertaining. Just saying, because I'm going to have a couple new sounds, and I already thought about it. Applause and and laugh track.
Yeah.
You imagine?
And we need the air horn too.
Oh.
I was glad I found that sound effect for the Barbie review.
Have you seen it's a show about a department store. My wife used to watch that. Anyway, there's a guy in it, and you remember The Sandlot?
Yes.
Okay, you know the main actor. I believe it's him. The main kid actor. You know, he's obviously, you know, he's the one who makes friends with all the boys. I'm pretty sure he's in it, and he does that sound with his mouth, but he just like wah, 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 wah. I can't remember what the show's called. I think it's called like something department store or something.
That's a Superstore?
Superstore.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Which, by the way, the guy who plays I don't know his name, but he dates like the one manager. What's her
Okay.
name?
I
Have
don't
you have
know.
you seen Superstore?
No, I've only
Oh,
seen, like,
jeez.
the previews.
Anyway, so that guy's in a movie called As Above, So Below. Recommend. Creepy. It's about hell.
I've heard of that too, but I
It's
haven't seen
really
it.
good.
No,
It's
man,
super
there's so
good.
many movies I have to see because I want to see Blue Beetle because I'm a big fan of the character. I gotta see Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go to that too. I just haven't had time.
I got 3 hours is hard to come by, but what I was going to say, I finally remembered. So I'm part of a new podcast. I'm not sure. I know it'll be on YouTube and Spotify and all that. I'm not sure which channel it's going to be on. I don't know if he's creating a new channel for it or if he's going to upload.
Once he's sure, you'll know.
You'll know, yeah. It's with the lead singer of the rock band Again that we've talked about several times. But now, why did I bring that up? Because there was a reason. Oh, we got into kind of a conversation about why movies suck now. And actually, what it was, we went down a Star Wars rabbit hole, and he was. I won't go so far as to say he was defending the new trilogy, but he was kind of sticking up for it as to why they did some of the things they did. And then I brought up the point, and I said, you know, this is just speculation on my part, but it seems like the studio system now is really what's killing good movies from being made, generally speaking. And as he pointed out, he said the problem is there's too many hands. Used to, you know, you'd have like a studio executive or two that would kind of spearhead it, a producer and a director, and then maybe like a leading name actor that had some influence. Now you've got like multiple studio executives involved in one project, and there's just so many more hands in the pot. Everybody's worried about turning a profit, and movies have gotten more expensive, so now it's even more important to make a profit, which I hope this is true. I heard speculation that Disney is considering. I don't know if this is accurate, but I've heard that there's speculation that that Disney is considering firing Rachel Zegler after what she's been saying about Snow White publicly.
That would be hilarious.
I'll be honest. I think they have to at this point.
I mean, because the thing is, she's literally taken a story that all kinds of people know and love and completely turned to something different. It's like, you're not like turning, I don't even know how to go into that, but yeah, it's like, why would you even remotely try to change a story like that? I was like, if you want to change the color of the character, sure, whatever, go ahead, don't care. But when it's about a woman that needs kissed by her prince, it's a love story. That's not 1937. It's like, yeah, and the Nazis didn't win, bitch, so.
Well, it's not even so much that they're changing it. Is she's gone on multiple interviews, more than 3, and she's trashed the movie, which was what made Walt Disney Pictures even possible. So dial it back a bit. She trashed the movie. She trashed the ride. She trashed the character. She trashed the storytelling of the company that has hired her to play this role, and she's done it all with just a narcissism that is just insane.
I mean, her and Gal Gadot, like, I didn't even realize Gal Gadot was like that, and I'm just like, I thought she was like somewhat normal, and then she did that, and I was like, oh man. So did Wonder Woman 1984 bomb because of the writers, or did it bomb because Gal Gadot was like, yeah, let's do this,
No,
because it's so popular?
It bombed because of the writing.
Yeah,
It was a
exactly. It
terrible
bombed
story.
because it sucked, because they, won't just have a good story. They got to make sure it includes this, that, and this and that. And it's like, when you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one.
Well, and Wonder Woman 1984 already had, which this is a problem with the studio system too.
And anyone hopping in, we're obviously off at the Turtles, so just deal with it.
Yeah, but nobody hopped in, so it's fine.
Someone did, and they hopped right back out.
Well, fuck you. We're already rated R, so. Wonder Woman 1984, what was I saying? Marvel's the worst about this, but DC does it too. So when you have these big film franchises and you do, they're not even prequels. They're kind of prequels, but they're, so, actually, no, it wasn't a prequel. It was a sequel that was also a prequel, and let me explain. So the Justice League thread, Wonder Woman was a prequel, but it was an origin story prequel that told you where Wonder Woman came from. Okay? So that works. That's fine. Because the reason that works is because while you know what happens after Wonder Woman, you don't know what happened before Wonder Woman. So there are holes in information that are getting filled in. The problem with Wonder Woman 1984 is we now know where Wonder Woman came from, but we also know where she's going. So this is a story that can have no significant impact on either the past or the future, because we already know what happens and we know where she came from. So this story has to be self-contained. So nothing that happens in this movie matters at all. Not one bit. At best, you're going to get maybe some character development that if you have really good writers, can shoehorn that in a non-awkward way and be like, oh, so like in the case of Wonder Woman, let's just let's hypothesize. So
Duma.
So let's hypothesize. Let's say Wonder Woman doesn't fly in the first movie, which she does at the very end. But let's assume she didn't. Okay. And then you have her in Justice League where she does fly. So if Wonder Woman 1984 wants to reveal how she attained the ability to fly, something like that is fine because you're filling in a gap. But like Wonder Woman gets armor in that movie that is never seen again, and she gets it because it's super powerful, right? And she needs it to defeat this enemy. But then she never uses it again. She also gets her invisible jet, which she never uses again, ever, because it wasn't used in Justice League.
Yeah, why would she need a jet when she can fly? And I'm assuming she can fly faster than the jet.
To be fair, in Wonder Woman 1984, they have the jet before she can fly.
Okay.
And then she remembers this special ability that she learned when she was a child. And apparently she forgot about it until the year 1984. Because she didn't use it in the first movie when she was facing a literal god. But in this movie, she's facing Pedro Pascal, who has the ability to make people do what he wants. And so apparently she needs super powerful armor that she didn't need against Ares, the literal god of war.
Pedro should have known better than to sign on to this dumpster fire.
Why not? Pedro was one of the only entertaining aspects. He got to ham it up and get paid like never before.
That's probably why he did it. He's just like, oh, that's a shit movie, but my part seems good.
And
I don't know if he sounds like that.
no, he sounds normal. So Wonder Woman's whole shtick. So, oh my god, I hate this movie so much. So you remember they touch on it in Batman v Superman, but they establish, like Wonder Woman comes out and says in Justice League, I believe it's one or the other, but she says, it's established that after the First World War, Wonder Woman disappeared. And yet in Wonder Woman 1984, she ends up broadcasting herself on every television airwave in the world.
I mean, didn't even retcon that?
Well, they did retcon it.
No, I mean, like, the 1984, like, they're just going to be like, maybe that was a side story that didn't happen.
I mean, they didn't.
They essentially could do that if they want to save the franchise.
The franchise is beyond saving at this point because they've tried to force feed it for too long, which is a shame because I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, at least in the first one. Our intelligence.
It's so average, it's crooked.
So yeah, Wonder Woman 1984 is an abomination of a film that never should have been made, at least not the way they made it. Yeah, there's actually, if you want to have yourself a really good laugh, go on YouTube and look up the Critical Drinker Wonder Woman 1984 review. It is hilarious. There's this one bit. He's like, and he's Scottish, and he puts on a really thick accent when he does his episodes. So he's like, so Steve and Diana decide they have to go find the dildo stone because there's a stone that you wish and it grants. The reason I found that so funny.
The dildo stone.
So I'm going to show you this picture because I made a meme out of it because I had an employee that I told him to watch that video and he thought it was so funny. So anytime we wanted something but we couldn't get, we'd be like, oh, I wish I still had the dildo stone. Oh, there it is. I'll show you a picture of this because I made a meme out of it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. When I was watching this movie, I'm like, that looks like a penis.
That's funny.
Yeah. So he calls it the dildo stone. He's like, So they decide they have to go find the dildo stone, but they don't know where it is. So they go to Egypt, and they run into him on the road. Wow, that was lucky. And so yeah, dildo stone and that. But I mean, the movie is just trash.
Yeah, I've never watched it. I haven't had any inkling to because of everybody was like, yeah, it's garbage.
It really truly
I try not to trust everyone's judgment because you can watch a movie and be like, oh yeah, I enjoyed that. Why did they say it was so bad? You know, like the Batman with Robert Pattinson.
Listen, most people like that movie.
I know.
I'm the only one who's standing up for
You
the
truly
truth.
were the exception, and then both of us,
And
were taking
yet-
up for Morbius, and
Yeah,
yet,
but- okay.
they tried to trash it. I was like, it's a fucking vampire movie.
Okay, but to be fair, in defense of Morbius, we weren't going in expecting a cinematic masterpiece, and I think that's what people were going in and expecting.
But it was a good movie for what it was.
Yeah, for what? But that's just it. That's the caveat. It was good for what it was. For what it was.
I mean, you took a side character and gave him a movie. That's what happened.
Yeah, and actually, when you consider that, they did a really good job, actually, and none of it was awful.
Let me see that Tootsie Roll. My daughter loves these things.
But yeah, as far as speaking of movies, that it's rare that a movie will live up to the hype, and I was intentionally not trying to hype it up too much because I knew I've been an Ninja Turtles fan basically my entire life, as far back as I can remember. So I understand I have some preconceived notions of what the Turtles are. So I went in to this movie with an admittedly open mind, and like I said, handful of things that I didn't like, but it didn't ruin the movie for me. Not like the Michael Bay movies did.
Did they have the turtle truck?
No,
I did
yet.
not. I had the turtle
yeah,
truck
I
from
did.
the 90s.
Yeah, I did.
I had that toy, dude, and that thing was sick.
I just realized I forgot to bring you that DVD.
What DVD?
Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Ew.
Ew.
Me, you son of a bitch.
Now that is a movie that I tried not to hype it up in my head so much, but I did. I couldn't because I love Batman and I love the Ninja Turtles. That movie has no business being as good as it was. It's so good, and it's a story that shouldn't work, but it totally does. The story makes absolute sense.
When did that come out?
God, 2019, I think. It's relatively new.
Okay, so then when was it the Michael Bay movie where he's like, oh, Raph's doing his Batman thing? Okay, that was one of the funny parts about that movie. But now that you mention that, because that happened before that animation,
Yeah.
and that's pretty cool because like essentially the guy's meeting his hero.
Essentially, yeah.
That's cool.
Well,
I mean, obviously, yeah.
yeah, I'll try to remember to bring it, but
I'll say I think I have it.
so I'll tell you the
Access to it.
the premise of the movie, and again, this shouldn't make sense. So the Turtles have to go to Gotham because Shredder is doing something in Gotham. They're stealing a bunch of tech. Batman ends up fighting Shredder, and it's not a spoiler alert because the fight's awesome, but it sets some things in motion. Batman ends up meeting the Turtles. They find out Shredder is doing business with a mysterious partner who I will not ruin it for you, but it is an arch nemesis of Batman. And it's funny because they managed to jam-pack a ton of fan service into this movie in a way that is in no way, shape, or form contrived. Everything makes sense. Nothing happens seemingly randomly. And you get everything you love about the Turtles. You get everything you love about Batman. And it's great. It's such a great movie. Don't even bother renting it. Just buy it. You'll thank me later.
Was it Conroy?
No, I thought it was because it sounds like Conroy. But apparently it's not.
Hmm.
But it sounds like Kevin Conroy.
Should have got Jensen Ackles.
He was also a very good Batman.
I can't wait to see him
It
in
is
more
Mark Hamill.
superhero roles.
I might be wrong. It is Mark Hamill as the Joker though.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's
Hang
nutty.
on, I'm gonna look that up because I could have sworn it was Kevin Conroy. So it might be. I might be mistaken.
I've seen some really good people here on YouTube who do voice impressions, and wow. Actually, Family Guy, Cleveland, the white actor stepped down because of the whole black, BLM, I believe. And then, but the thing is, they got a guy who's actually black playing Cleveland now, but he sounds just like him.
No, it's a guy named Troy Baker is the voice of Batman. in that movie. And
Dude, hold on, go back to him. He looks like a Bruce Wayne.
Kinda. And then Joe DiMaggio as Mr. Freeze.
Chill. Kill. Oh man.
I'm trying to make sure that it was Mark Hamill. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, he's played the Joker, but it might be him.
Sometimes they get different actors. Tara Strong is Harley Quinn, so she plays. She's one of the actresses that plays Harley fairly often.
Yeah, she does a lot of voices. She does Bubbles off of Powderpuff Girls.
Yeah, Tara Strong is
She's done a
powerhouse.
lot of stuff.
Where is?
Like Linda. That wasn't a very good impression. That's supposed to be Frieza.
I can't do it either.
Stupid monkey. My neck's hurting if anyone's wondering. I don't know if you care or if I care, you
Will
care.
you just tell me who plays the damn Joker?
Hey Siri, who played the Joker in what's the movie called? Oh no, it's not working.
He's voiced by Troy Baker too.
That's weird.
It sounds just like Mark Hamill, guys.
Well, then that motherfucker.
It sounds like it's. That's that.
I say we need to.
Do we need to ninja wrap it up?
We need to ninja wrap it up because that.
Oh,
Apparently we're having problems with our internet.
that was
so.
an Easter egg though. When they're in their first fight and
Oh,
Mikey,
the ninja rap.
yeah, Mikey gets thrown into.
That was so sick. I forgot about that.
I
You just
do
mentioned.
just want to close on the fact that I love how they really just leaned into the more fun aspects. Like they've got Leo doing that super important monologue at the beginning, and then they're just starting, "Go girl." Okay, Batman, you sound like you have bronchitis, and I love
Take your kids. Go watch it.
the fact that they got actual teenagers. Because this is the first time, mind you, that the Turtles have been played by actual teenagers. And I love the fact that one of them still had kind of a higher pitched voice, like he sounded younger. It worked. And I love they do the joke where Leo's voice cracks when he's talking to April on the phone. He's like, "Hey, April, it's Leo."
It was a great one. It was a good one.
It was a good. Although I don't understand why Leo fell in love with April because she looks like that and she acts like that, and she pukes like that.
I mean, she was in high school, so the thing is that was a huge difference from what we were used to. So therefore, I mean, all of them were technically at that tender young age.
15, by the way.
But the thing is, it was actually kind of cool. Oh my gosh, dude. The power's out. No, it's not! Swerve! Oh! Oh! I don't know what the heck's going on with my internet tonight, but I tell you what, Comcast. You stick those 3 Sundays up your fucking ass!
Where's Macho Man?
Oh! Damn.
Oh, I see him. Put it on Macho Man. He's got something to say.
Oh!
Ooh, it's nice and bright, yeah. And you can see his stupid face.
It's back. What the fudge?
Now listen up, Comcast, you sons of Macho. If you don't stop trying to censor us, Macho Man's coming to your house, yeah. I can see your stupid face again. Fucking puppet here. This episode was a disaster, yeah. You might want to go ahead and cut away. Macho Man's out of information.
Macho Man he needs to take a deep breath. He'll on another note. Oh yeah, brother. I'm in here, brother.
Macho Man is smaller in real life. I love Macho Man. People who have not.
Hey, Skyler.
People who have not seen our Barbie review are gonna be like,
Watch
"Why?"
it. Like, seriously, I don't see how that thing doesn't have more views.
I don't either. It really should have more.
Oh, jeez.
And remember, kids, go ninja. Go ninja. Go. Yeah.
Oh. That's
Macho Man just did a flying crossbody on the Barbie. Yeah.
the toy box.
Yeah. This one was a disaster.
Nah.
Nah, not a. Oh, I'm gonna turn my light up.
Oh. You became an angel.
No, just a white supremacist.
Yeah. We're becoming whiter by the second.
I didn't think I could get any whiter.
Oh my gosh. Dude, these things are powerful.
There, oh. 5 lights! Peter! That's a Star Trek joke for those that don't.
Jeez, man.
When are they just going to come out with the next Spider-Verse movie? That's what I want to know. I would say hurry up, but I don't want you to rush that.
No, please make it as good as this last one because the first one was fantastic and this one was
the second one was even better, and that's rare.
Very rare.
So I think
and there was really no bull crap in the movie except for Spider-Punk, but he didn't do anything. So
oh, I'm glad you said that because guess what? I am going to not necessarily recant my statement, but I think I might be wrong about Spider-Punk. I might be wrong about Spider-Punk.
Someone in the comments change your mind?
Nope. I was thinking about it. And then I came across, which I'm thoroughly convinced that our phones can now read our minds, because I was literally thinking about that, and then a video came across my, what do you call it on YouTube? Damn.
Your For You page.
For You page, yeah.
I mean, it's technically TikTok, but I
my
mean...
feed, it came across my feed.
Algorithm.
And it was a deep dive into the Spider-Punk character and how he fits into the narrative. And yeah, I think I might be wrong about Spider-Punk because it turns out, according to this person, and it makes sense, Spider-Punk has basically two versions. There's, what did he call it? There's, like, egotistical Hobie, but it's a front. Because Hobie's whole MO is actually getting in there and not necessarily dismantling the system, but at least subverting it. But you'll notice Hobie behaves differently when he's around Gwen and then Miles after he meets him.
That's true.
Peter, because a lot of it is a front, and he does go out of his way. Like, he goes out of his way to be different from everybody, but that's part of his. It's part of his shtick. Like, I don't know. The video did a much better job of explaining it than I'm recalling, but I think what we saw of Hobie, the things that annoyed me about him, were his facade personality. Because I think Hobie might, and I gave him grief for not being there when Miles really needed his help, but he did help Miles by teaching him.
Oh yeah.
And he did help because he made the watch. Apparently, I must have missed that part. He didn't give somebody his watch. He made one.
Oh.
And the reason it's important to distinguish that he made it is because Miguel can technically control the other ones.
So we were wrong.
Well, no, you weren't.
Potentially.
I maybe was.
About well, I mean, I didn't dislike him, but the thing is, like, you know, certain things he said I didn't like. But now that you mention that, it's like, if you think about it, if he's like kind of a lackadaisical character, then he can get in there and just be around, hear things, and then decide what he wants to do with that information. Because instead of just going along with the narrative, he's collecting information and then eventually going to come up with his own thought process on it. So.
And he is actually a true, not even revolutionary, but what's the word I'm looking for? He's a true, I'll say revolutionary for lack of a better word, because he actually...
Pioneer?
No, I mean the fact that he's trying to subvert the whole thing, because he sees the inherent I can't believe I'm going to say this. He sees the inherent danger and potential for actual fascism in an organization like the Spider Society. Because it's controlled by one person.
Miguel.
Yep.
And that's what we've been trying to say, but everybody in the not everybody in the comments, but most people are like, hey, no. And it's like, dude, just Get out of there.
So
Like,
I'll
a
admit,
good guy doesn't act like that.
I will admit I'm probably wrong about Spider-Punk. I don't think I'm wrong at all about Miguel. I don't know how I'm right about Miguel because we put a few theories out there, but he's at the very least not being completely honest about something. And we're gonna see it, and it's gonna be glorious.
Oh man, that's gonna, like, as long as we're a country in the next couple of years, hopefully, you know, like.
Which by the by, we are going. I'm sorry for the people that just joined.
What, the one?
Oh, there's only one. Sorry. No. Sorry. Anyway.
It's probably me.
Oh, probably is you. So we'll go ahead and say this. Even though our political stuff isn't getting a lot of views, I'm kind of surprised by that.
Our entertainment stuff, though, like, is, like, steadily getting decent views. Like, obviously they're not, like, smashing off, but the thing is, like, they're still getting consistent thousands of views. So.
And we thank you. So actually, I was going to say, we're going to return to our roots a little bit next week, but it's still topical. We've kind of become... We started out heavily political, but we did start in the middle of a presidential election.
But listen, you guys just be honest in the comments. If you don't like political talk, tell us, and we'll just make another channel, and
we'll still do it.
And we'll still do it, but we just won't do it on this channel. We'll make this channel all about entertainment.
Well, I won't even go that far. What we've kind of morphed into is we've become, I'd say we're 80% topical content. There's a handful of times where we've done episodes that we just wanted to do, or we knew they would be shorts fodder.
Because at the end of the day, like, you know, honestly, I'm going to recant what I just said prior, but, like, honestly, like he said, it is our channel, so, you know, if you don't like to see certain things, just don't watch it.
But we have a lot of content, and
we have tons of content.
In an effort to bring you guys more content, I have a favor to ask all of you. Anybody's watching it, all of you subscribers have helped us pass that first hurdle, and we thank you very much. And we are going to do our absolute best to bring you more and more of the content that you like. So the best way to do that is to let us know in the comments. But the favor I want to ask all of you is now, in order to get the channel monetized, and if we can get the channel monetized, then we can pour all of that into making better and more content for you. But we need a favor from you. We need to increase our watch time. Big time. Now, we're
watch
on the
time or tons of shorts views.
I think watch time is actually more feasible. Because
sort of, if they would drop it down to the 3,000.
Not really, but so we're on the right track. But the biggest ask, like we said, we've got a lot of content. If you guys could just watch the podcasts and watch the video clips that we upload and increase that watch time, we would be eternally grateful. And then obviously like, share, and subscribe everything so the algorithm pushes it more. And then the shorts too. The shorts are big. We need you guys to watch the content and interact with it. That's all we're asking for.
Yeah. And if you don't want to watch it, just put it on mute.
No, we would never suggest that you do that. We would never ever suggest such a thing. Because
just kidding. Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Shut up, Jeff. No, you guys can totally do that. Did you replicate your head movement?
Yeah. Oh man, dude, this internet, like, it keeps going out. Like I said, I already got a fix for it.
It's
for next
very
week,
frustrating.
It's very frustrating indeed.
But yes, check out all the older episodes. Check out the other podcasts on the Arte Podcast Network. You can easily listen to all of them on artemedia.org. Also, you can check out our blog and all that good stuff, and just see general news of what's going on. The new podcast, Toon Talk, will also be available on there, and then obviously on YouTube as well. And then remember, Boger Cabinetry. Mention the podcast and save 10% off of your order.
Yeah.
Like, share, and subscribe. And you can also check us out on Spotify and all those other podcast platforms. But we're trying to grow the YouTube because that's going to be the fast track to getting funded. And then we can have things like super chats and memberships and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and all that just leads to better quality content for you, the viewer.
We got better cameras. We're gonna get another one for the center. But so we're taking steps. We're trying to believe it or not,
Maybe one day we'll be able to actually get someone to press the buttons for me, so they remember to do that.
that's no fun. There were. Oh, I didn't fix the focus back.
Monologue.
I just made it worse, didn't I?
Get your hand off the camera. No, I'm just kidding.
So believe it or not, even though when you people leave mean comments, if you have a point.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean? What do you mean, you people?
That's what I was going for.
Even though a lot of comments that are critical are left in a very, very shitty way, if you got a point, we actually do listen. We got higher quality cameras. We got better lighting. We got better microphones. We did all that stuff.
Boom.
So, thank you. No, fuck you. 'Cause we have a good podcast. It's a little rough, but that's part of its charm. It's like you don't want to go ahead. You don't want to get with the podcast when it's in its prime. You want to get it when it's just starting to go to the gym. It's just starting to figure out how it can look and sound better. You know,
I mean,
because
how many viral shorts do we have now?
it depends on your definition of viral.
I'm
but
sorry, anything over 100,000 views is viral.
That's valid. So across all platforms, 4.
Well over 10.
Over
100,000?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Damn right, I'm right.
You're right. So anyway, that was a long-winded goodbye. Fuck off.
Fuck all you hoes.
Go watch.
Get a grip.
Go watch TMNT, Mutant Mayhem. You won't be disappointed.
No, it's fantastic.
And watch the Average Intelligence podcast.
For your information.